Hello everyone. My name is Peter. Welcome to the true stories being shared here. Please sit back and listen to today's story. Should I request a paternity test now or wait, considering the small possibility that my pregnant wife is cheating? My wife and I have been together for 12 years. I don't know how else to describe it other than to call it a perfect relationship. I think in those 12 years, we've only really argued maybe 2 or 3 times. We do everything together, but have never had an issue allowing each other to live our own lives and pursue our interests. We bought a house we both love. We both have high-paying jobs with a great work-life balance. Basically, everything was flawless. We've been trying to have a baby for 2 years, but it hadn't happened yet. We were just about to start fertility treatment when I came home from a business trip. And guess what? She's pregnant. Suddenly, this strange thought hit me. Wait, I thought we hadn't been trying last week because of the fertility test. But I couldn't remember exactly because, to be honest, we were busy with it. So I just assumed I remembered wrong. Now I travel for work across the country pretty frequently. Besides COVID, there have been times I've traveled up to 40 weeks a year. Because of COVID, it's been less, but still over a week a month. In the past 4 to 5 years, my wife has become very close with a guy she works with. Let's call him Matt. Matt is a bit younger, I think around 34. I know him, he's married, I know his wife. I think they've worked together for about 7 years now. He's always around, and he and I are on friendly terms. Have I ever thought something was going on? No, but I've always thought. You'd be stupid not to think there's at least a 1% chance your spouse might step out. Maybe I'm naive, but I've always considered it a safeguard to not take my wife or any other partner for granted. She's never given me a reason to think she'd do that. But anything is possible. About a month ago, I was away for work and she was home. I asked her what she was up to one morning, and she said Matt was coming over for dinner. It wasn't unusual for Matt to drop by occasionally. Sometimes with his wife, sometimes without, and sometimes when I wasn't there. I didn't think much of it. We have a security system with cameras both inside and outside our house that we installed after an unrelated incident a few years ago. They record, and both she and I have live access. I usually use those cameras to check on the dog when I or both of us are away, as the rest of the system is monitored by a company in case an alarm goes off. She knows I check those cameras, and there's a system set up so I can talk through them. I'd mess with my wife, and she'd go along with it if one of us was away. She also travels for work, but much less than I do. The thing is, it's known that I often check them when I'm not home. So, I turn on the camera and see my 4-month pregnant wife, lying on the floor, on her side, with Matt sitting, legs spread, using a foam roller to massage her hips. So, I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? I start rewinding the footage, and they're eating and chatting normally, but then they move to the couch and cuddle under a blanket. Now, they were a foot apart, but that couch isn't that big. Then they move upstairs, and that's when I logged in. Anyway, I text her while I'm still watching the camera, and they both look like deer caught in headlights, and he quickly leaves. We argue. She's not mad at me for accusing her, but she insists that nothing has or ever would happen, and what I saw was innocent, and she was just complaining about pregnancy pain. I know that's true, she's had some back pain issues, etc. The biggest point of that discussion was when I asked, if I were there, would you two feel comfortable doing any of that in front of me? And she reluctantly admitted, no, probably not. I told her I didn't want to talk further, and we'd discuss it when I got home in 3 days. That's when it hit me. What if that strange feeling I had when she told me she was finally pregnant was this? What if my 1% happened, and this baby isn't mine? Now it's eating away at me as I'm alone in a hotel thousands of miles away for 3 days. I keep telling myself, I think the chances of something happening between them are very slim. But basically, my 1% just went up to 10%, 20% maybe? I get home, and she's nervous and doesn't bring it up. I'm waiting to see what she does. 2 days later, she finally brings it up and breaks down. Swearing nothing happened, she would never do that. She doesn't go overboard trying to prove anything. I take that as a good sign. But anyway, we talk it through, and things are at least moving forward. I'm still processing, and trying to figure out how to rebuild trust after all this time. I'm beginning to understand that they are friends, have been for a long time, and maybe he had some intentions. But I don't see her having any, and I never really paid attention to it. I've spent time around both of them many times but never picked up on anything. So, what's tearing me apart right now is, if I'm wrong and something did happen, well, I could figure out how to deal with that. What if this baby isn't mine? During our argument and the few long conversations we've had about this situation, I've never brought it up, and she hasn't either. Mostly because I don't want to make things worse and devastate her if the truth is she's telling the truth, which I mostly believe. The only thing I can think of right now is to wait until the baby is born and immediately request a paternity test in secret. Should I do that? Should I tell her and deal with it now? If you were a woman in her position, and you were telling the truth, would that destroy you or your view of me? If you were lying, what would you do if I asked? I don't want to ask too vague a question, but what should I do? TLDR, there's a very small chance my 12-year wife cheated, and she's 4 months pregnant, and I'm afraid to ask for a paternity test in case it crushes her, if nothing really happened. But I'm planning to do it secretly when the baby is born. What should I do? Update. So she left the state for a work trip late last night. Today is Friday, so she's working from home in our kitchen. I decided to bring it up and ask for a test. She immediately said yes and said she has no doubts and nothing to worry about for a second. But now, she doesn't have a problem doing it. The only warning I left is, according to our doctors, if it's invasive, I might wait until it's low risk. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what they have to do now. So, not sure when we'll do it. But she knows, and we're getting one. That was a decent long conversation. We're sitting down for lunch together right now. She doesn't know I did this on Reddit. Hence the new account because she's somewhere around here. Thank you all for the help and advice. Many of you made me realize that we've been really open about everything, and if nothing happened, she wouldn't be worried about getting one. I'm more concerned about her health and adding any insane levels of stress if it's an issue because she's having a high-risk pregnancy, and it took us so long to get pregnant. So, again, thank you all for your help. I suppose I might update if it's mine or not, but I'm not sure how long that will take. I'm pretty sure 90 to 95% it's mine. But this will help us move forward with this conversation. New update. Hi everyone. So I've totally avoided this account because I was pretty much bombarded with people telling me I'm AI, wishing my wife would miscarry, assuming she's secretly going to get an abortion to save herself, or that I'm a clown for not facing the truth and destroying someone else's marriage based on speculation alone. I'm surprised people are still following and invested in this after all this time. Yes, my wife is still very much pregnant. She's having trouble picking things up off the stage. She's due in 8 weeks. Scratch that, 6 weeks, just looked at the calendar. We're getting weekly ultrasounds at this point. He's about 5 pounds and has a big head. She and I have had very long, direct conversations about everything. She's adamant that nothing ever happened and never would. For a while, she was quite upset with herself for causing this and making me feel doubt. I've been trying my best to address that because I need to reduce her stress as much as possible right now. But it will certainly be revisited after the birth. Like I've said all along, I'm really just concerned about the baby and the delivery going well, etc. Well, mostly, not just that. The one thing we still really disagree on is that I think he got too close because he developed feelings or is on the verge of something that might lead somewhere, etc. She doesn't see it that way, but did say that it could be possible, but if so, she was blind to it. I told her I wanted a paternity test, and she immediately agreed and said no problem at all. My only condition was that it couldn't pose a medical risk or cause stress because she's having a high-risk pregnancy. We both talked to her doctor about it, and basically they told us that our only option was to go to court because they wouldn't do it without legal involvement, which both of us found ridiculous. Her doctor was a bit confused by that, so I didn't push it much honestly, as she was quite demanding. I know there are other options. I've looked into those other options and ultimately decided to wait until the baby is born, and I've already set up a lab to do it, ready to go. I'm 95% sure it's unnecessary, but I still need that peace of mind, and mainly so nothing comes between me and my child. To those of you who left supportive messages that I didn't return to, thank you. I'll take some time tonight to look through them before disappearing again. To those who left messages suggesting I act like a 17-year-old high schooler and get violent, cheat on my wife to prove a point, or any other childish crap, at least thanks for the entertainment. Stop watching TLC and TikTok. That stupid drama is not the way, kids. And to the one who suggested I accidentally harm my wife, I hope you end up behind bars one day. I'll likely be off here after tonight until I get the results from the lab. So if you're still interested in the outcome, check back in 1.5 to 2 months. I'm told it should take about 48 hours after submission. So I'll give you your Maury moment.